Everyone wants to start a business, but most people never change the way they think. They jump into building websites, creating products, chasing sales, without realizing that their most significant limitation isn't strategy or capital, it's their own mindset. You can't build a new life with the same thinking that created the old one. That's why so many entrepreneurs end up exhausted, trapped inside the very business that was supposed to set them free. True success doesn't start with a business plan. It begins with a shift in perspective. These 5 books won't just teach you how to make money. They'll rewire the way you see business, risk, and yourself. Before you build a business, you have to rebuild your mind. Every successful entrepreneur you know, Musk, Jobs, and Buffett, started with a mental transformation long before the world ever saw their results. They learned to think differently about fear, money, and opportunity. They stopped chasing perfection and started mastering patterns of thought that created momentum. Most people study what to do in business, but never learn how to think like a builder, a creator, a strategist. And that's exactly what these 5 books do. Each one reshapes a piece of the entrepreneurial brain, the part that sees possibilities where others see problems, that stays calm when others panic, that keeps building when everyone else quits. If you're ready to start thinking like that too, make sure to subscribe, because here, we don't just summarize books, we translate them into the mindset that builds freedom. All of these books are fully summarized on this channel, and now, let's explore how each one changes the way you think about business. The first book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. When he was just 9 years old, Kiyosaki found himself learning from 2 very different teachers. One was his biological father, educated, hardworking, and deeply loyal to the system. The other was his friend's father, a man who understood how money truly works. His real dad taught him to study hard, get good grades, and find a secure job. His rich dad taught him something completely different, that job security is a trap, and real wealth comes from building systems that work for you. That lesson changed everything. Most people start businesses with the mindset of an employee chasing income, working harder, and believing more effort equals more success. But Kiyosaki shows that the key isn't working harder. It's thinking differently. The rich don't ask, how can I earn more? They ask, how can I make my money earn for me? They use money as a tool, not a reward. They buy assets that generate income even while they sleep. Real estate, businesses, or investments that multiply over time. But the real power of this book isn't in its financial tips. It's in how it changes your relationship with money and fear. Once you understand that financial freedom comes from mindset, not salary, you stop feeling powerless. You start seeing money as energy, something you can direct and grow. That's the first mental shift every entrepreneur must make, from worker to creator, from consumer to builder. And once that foundation is in place, the next lesson becomes critical, because changing how you earn means nothing if you don't also change how you handle failure. The second book is Mindset by Dweck, a guide to understanding why some people keep growing while others stop the moment things get hard. Dweck spent decades studying what separates high performers from those who give up. She discovered something simple but life-changing. It's not intelligence, talent, or opportunity. It's the way you think about challenge. There are 2 types of mindsets. The fixed mindset believes ability is permanent, that you're either smart or not, talented or not, capable or not. When things get difficult, people with a fixed mindset retreat, afraid that failure means they've reached their limit. Then there's the growth mindset, the belief that every skill, every strength can be developed. People with a growth mindset don't see failure as proof of weakness, but as a signal to learn faster. And that's the mindset every entrepreneur needs. Because in business, you will fail. You will launch products that flop, make decisions that hurt, and have moments when you doubt everything you're building. What determines your future isn't the failure itself. It's whether you treat it as data or as defeat. Dweck's work is a reminder that success isn't a straight line upward. It's a series of small recoveries. Every setback is feedback. Every mistake is a lesson. Every obstacle is an invitation to adapt. Entrepreneurs with a growth mindset turn rejection into fuel. They see what's broken, fix it, and keep moving. That resilience is what separates those who build lasting businesses from those who quit too early. And once you stop fearing failure, the next shift becomes even deeper, understanding your relationship with money itself. Because how you think about money determines whether it controls you or empowers you. The third book is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a masterpiece that explains why financial success has more to do with behavior than with knowledge. Housel reveals a truth that surprises many. Being good with money isn't about IQ or spreadsheets. It's about emotional control. Two people can make the same investment, yet one builds wealth while the other goes broke. The difference lies not in what they know, but in how they react when things go wrong. Money, in Housel's world, is a mirror. It reflects your fears, your patience, and your ability to think long-term when the world screams short-term. Most people treat wealth like a competition. They buy to impress, not to progress. They measure success by what's visible: cars, houses, watches, and ignore the invisible wealth that truly matters: freedom, calm, time. True wealth isn't what you spend. It's what you can afford not to spend. It's the quiet power of choice, the ability to say no, to walk away, to rest when everyone else is grinding. Housel's lesson for entrepreneurs is simple. In business, patience compounds faster than speed. Chasing quick results kills clarity. The best founders and investors think decades ahead, while the rest chase quarterly wins. If Rich Dad Poor Dad changes how you see money, the psychology of money changes how you feel about it. It teaches emotional discipline, the art of staying calm when markets crash, clients leave, or growth stalls. Because wealth isn't built by those who know the most, but by those who stay consistent when others panic. And once you learn to master your emotions around money, it's time to look deeper inside your own mind. Because before you can grow your business, you have to reprogram the part of you that keeps repeating the past. The fourth book is Reprogram Your Brain by Dr. Joe Dispenza, a journey into the mind's deepest layers and how your thoughts quietly shape your business, your habits, and your entire future. Dispenza's idea is simple but profound. Your brain is a record of the past. Every morning, when you wake up and think about yesterday's problems, you're reliving the same emotions, reinforcing the same patterns, and unknowingly creating the same results. You're trying to build a new life with old software. He explains that 95% of who you are by the age of 35 is a set of memorized behaviors, automatic reactions, habits, and emotional loops that run your day like a program. That's why, even when you want to change, your body and mind pull you back to what's familiar. The process of transformation begins when you become aware of this pattern. Through meditation and conscious focus, you can slow down your thoughts, observe your triggers, and rewrite the emotional codes that dictate your behavior. In business, this is everything. Because no strategy can outgrow a limited mindset. You can't build a company that expands if your thoughts are stuck in scarcity, fear, or doubt. The entrepreneurs who rise the fastest aren't just the most talented. They're the ones who've learned to master their inner state before facing the outer world. Dispenza reminds us that the future doesn't start when conditions are perfect. It starts the moment you decide to think, feel, and act as if you're already there. When you practice that long enough, your reality begins to follow. And once your mind stops living in the past, you can finally start designing the future. That's where our final book comes in, a timeless classic that turns thought into power and belief into reality. The fifth and final book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a timeless guide that connects thought, belief, and action into one unstoppable force. More than 80 years ago, Hill spent 2 decades interviewing the most successful people of his time, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Andrew Carnegie, trying to discover what they all had in common. The answer wasn't luck, talent, or education. It was clarity of purpose. Each of them knew exactly what they wanted and refused to give up until it became real. Hill called this The power of definite purpose. It's the invisible blueprint behind every achievement. When your mind knows exactly where it's going, the world starts aligning to help you get there. But when your goals are vague, your actions are scattered. He believed that the mind is a broadcasting station, constantly sending out thoughts that attract opportunities, people, and results that match your dominant state. Think fear, and you'll find reasons to worry. Think progress, and you'll notice doors you never saw before. The lesson isn't mystical, it's psychological. Whatever you focus on expands. Hill teaches that success begins as an idea, fueled by emotion, followed by relentless persistence. Thoughts alone don't create wealth, but thoughts, backed by purpose and discipline, create action. And action, repeated with faith, creates transformation. Entrepreneurs who internalize this truth don't wait for motivation. They train their minds to see possibilities, even in chaos. They act, adjust, and evolve until what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. Think and Grow Rich isn't just about making money. It's about mastering the mindset that magnetizes opportunity. And when you combine this with the lessons from the previous 4 books, you stop playing small. You stop reacting. You start creating. Because business doesn't begin with a product, it starts with a mind that refuses to stay ordinary. Every one of these books rewires a different part of your entrepreneurial brain. Rich Dad Poor Dad breaks the illusion of job security and shows you that freedom begins when you stop working for money. Mindset teaches you that failure is not a dead end, but a doorway to mastery. The Psychology of Money reminds you that wealth isn't about how much you earn, but how calmly you think when everything shakes. Reprogram Your Brain helps you escape the invisible patterns of the past so you can finally build something new. And Think and Grow Rich ties it all together, proving that your thoughts shape your destiny long before your actions do. These aren't just business books, they're transformation manuals. They teach you how to think, how to adapt, and how to keep building when logic says stop. Because every great company starts with one thing, a mind that refuses to quit. If you want to go deeper into any of these books, each one has a complete summary right here on this channel. Watch them next. The links are below. And if this video helped shift your perspective, hit subscribe. We release new breakdowns every week to help you grow smarter, think bigger, and create the kind of freedom most people only dream about. Because once you master your mindset, you don't just start a business, you start a revolution in how you live, think, and lead.